Welcome to Acoustic Chef. I'm Capel.
This is D Will.
This is Ebony.
And this is Regina.
Okay, that was better. That was better than last week. we gonna perfect this. I know we gonna perfect this. How y'all doing today? How was y'all week?
Doing great. Great. We made it through another week.
Facts.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all know that we got an elder amongst us. Like an elder. Like
Real old?
I'm talking about real old.
Dang.
Yeah, like I'm talking about need a walker in probably a couple of years.
Oh, guess what? I forgot to hit the record button.
Recording. Happy birthday to you.
Uh-oh.
Sing it.
Dude, you got a little
Marilyn
voice.
Monroe.
Uh-oh.
Like Marilyn
Sing
Monroe
it.
singing the Kennedy.
Oh, no. Not like that.
Nah, I knew you was gonna say something. I was actually gonna tell you not to say nothing at first, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it ride
Hey,
and see what
bro, I
happens.
don't care. I was gonna say something anyway.
Hey, it's another year to celebrate. We
Right.
did 2020. This is a year. We gotta celebrate every
Every little milestone.
I feel
Yeah.
that.
Right.
But you know, I ain't that big of a birthday person. Like I've never been that big of a birthday person. I don't celebrate like hard. I like none of that. And so I'm always kind of low key on my birthday. My wife, she does stuff for me, but she'll tell you, like, she asks me what I want every year. I'm like, you don't give me nothing, babe. I'm good. She still do
miss my
something for me
birthday.
anyway, but you know.
I missed my birthday. I missed my
But
surprise
yeah, so
birthday
I
party.
appreciate
Oh,
that.
you knew about that?
I kind of knew, like, you know what? Like, I want to say the day before or the day of, I knew.
That it was going to be a surprise.
Uh, nah, man. My mama was trying to, and everybody was trying to be secretive, and she was pretending like she was having a get together for somebody else. I didn't even realize it was my birthday because I don't be tripping off that. And then so once I realized that it was my birthday on the same day, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, ah, man, she trying to have a surprise birthday party for me or whatever. I ended up missing it.
Yeah. It's good to be loved.
How did you miss it? You just did show
Because
up?
well, nah,
Or
because I got sick. I thought I had COVID or
oh,
whatever. So
oh
yeah,
no. Okay.
so I didn't go. I ain't want no
Okay.
surprise birthday. Hey, what's going on, Compare? You can't hear us, huh? Oh, I don't think Compare can hear us.
Mm-mm.
It was a lot of feedback at first.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
But I think then it went away.
All right, I'm back. Something
Oh,
happened to my
okay.
sound. It switched systems. This computer it did that earlier when I was
I
on a
think
Zoom
I
call.
think it's not using your mic neither right now.
No, it is now. It is now. It's on my microphone.
Oh, okay. But anyway, uh-oh.
So all that
It,
y'all said I ain't here. So if y'all like did your
nah, it
best to
wasn't
tear me
nothing.
down, it's all good.
Nah, we saving that for when you can't hear. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
did y'all I know y'all wanna well nah, go ahead. What was you about to say, Compare? Because you had something that you wanted to say.
So this boy sent me a text message when we recorded last week talking about, hey man, just say Damien. You don't sound organic when you say D Will. So I went back and listened, like it sound fake. He didn't say organic. It sound like I'm forcing it. So I went back and listened. I'm like, I said D Will. I think it sound regular to me. Like what you talking about, bro? Like what it
Because,
sound
bro,
like?
you always call me Damien. Every now and then you'll call me D when you talking about me to somebody else or whatever. And then it's like you all discombobulated because I'm like, hey, bro, when you spell my name correctly because you keep spelling my name wrong and stuff. It ain't about when you say whatever. My name
So
Damien. If that's what you want to call me, cool. But
so tell him
don't
how I
spell
spelled
my
your name.
name
Tell him
incorrectly.
tell him how I
How you
spelled your name.
spelling?
Tell him.
Big.
Nah, nah. Tell him literally how I wrote it down. Go ahead.
So anyway, have y'all heard about
Nah,
hey bro.
no. We go listen. This the reason why I said is because I spelled it right. It's DWILL. It's not an issue of spelling. It's an issue of capitalization. He want big letters here, little letters
Absolutely.
here,
Absolutely
no
because
dot here.
because
What?
because it's a matter of phonetics or whatever. If we trying to be on a grand stage or whatnot, like I told you, you don't want me to spell your name PPELL.
No, because
which
that's misspelling
could
it.
be confused.
Because that's
Exactly.
but I didn't misspell it. I put DWILL.
Did you put a space?
You gotta.
You want
Did you
exactly.
put a space?
How do you pronounce a space? How you pronounce a
What?
space?
So
Somebody
what
tell
was
me.
it?
It's
How was it pronounced? Doyle.
Exactly.
Dwell. Oh, Dwell. Okay,
That
yeah.
no,
that
but he
that could
also
be
want.
somebody
Yeah,
could be confused.
but you also want a capital W, a small I, and then two big L's.
So if I
What's up
spell
with the?
Beyonce name without the accent mark, somebody it
Because
could be
that
confused for
actually
Beyonce.
changes the pronunciation of the name.
Yeah, it
Hey, bro,
does.
have you ever heard of like Swahili and all of these different
So
You
it's
know,
D. Will
dialects?
Swahili now.
Yeah,
Not.
So what's up
Mm-hmm.
with the two big L's? What's up with that?
Yeah.
that's just so people can understand. You know what I'm saying? That I got two big L's.
And
Okay.
they know they can distinguish between which D will you talking about. They
Two
know it's
big.
Exactly.
this D will,
you
not
know what
the
you do
other
Yeah.
is you
D
take those
will.
two L's, you flip one upside down. You know what you got, right?
A square.
Square. I can't make it with my microphone right there. That's what you being right now, real
Well,
square.
we're taking no L's, all W's. So capitalize that
I
W.
think
Wins.
everybody being a square right now. I see all of y'all in boxes as well. So
Mm.
hey,
All right, cool.
hey, did y'all
Funny.
see the story about Sarah Keys Evans?
No.
Tell me.
I had posted it.
Oh
She's the
yeah, I did see that you posted it. Yeah.
yeah, she was Rosa Parks before Rosa Parks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was actually the catalyst for why Rosa Parks, I'm not gonna say felt like she could do
Yeah,
what she
yeah.
did, but she kind
What
of
what
catalyzed. Oh,
what
go
year
ahead.
was that? What year was she?
That was
Because I thought it was
With
Claudette
Claudette
Colvin.
Colvin. So Claudette
Yeah.
Colvin is who I know of as the
Hmm.
first
The
person,
first one.
and she
so
wasn't socially acceptable,
Right.
as far as the look and also,
Exactly. She was
so
like
when
15 and pregnant. And
but
yeah.
when
so
but when was Claudette Coleman, when did her situation happen? Because Sarah's situation was in 1952.
Oh, well,
But
Claudette's
see,
was 9 months before Rosa Parks, but
See,
it was a big movement, but they
yeah.
didn't utilize her at that time for that reason. And they
right.
purposely used Rosa Parks.
So actually, it was already supposed to be like for interstate travel, segregation was supposed to be banned on buses anyway or whatnot.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So this lady was actual private in the army, and I didn't even realize that at that point in time the army had an auxiliary unit which was specifically for women or whatnot. So it had the men's army and the women's army or whatever. But they didn't respect her. She was going from like the Fort Dix, going back home to Washington, North Carolina, I believe,
Hmm.
where she's from.
Hmm.
And so a white Marine, like during one of the stops, a white Marine got on the bus and they tried to, the bus driver, of course, told her that she needed to stand up or whatnot, and she refused. So they made everybody get off the bus and arrested her, fined her, and her movement started. Well, she didn't get she got an attorney and stuff like that or whatever, and it wasn't solidified. The desegregation of interstate travel wasn't solidified until 1955, and
Hmm.
I forgot the specific date, but I think 6 days later they say Rosa Parks did what she did in Montgomery or whatever,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah.
you know, that's interesting. You bring it up about Rosa Parks. I want to ask y'all a question, and only one of y'all have to really answer. And I just kind of because I'm trying to get to a point, and so what is y'all's version of the Rosa Parks story? Like from what y'all been taught or know about Rosa Parks, what happened with Rosa Parks?
She was tired and didn't want to get up. And
That's what we were taught.
That's what we were
yeah.
But
taught.
I know
Exactly.
there's a backstory, like it was something that was
So
planned.
the Rosa Parks story is not the story that happened at all. Rosa
Hmm.
Parks herself tells a story totally different. She says that she didn't work a long shift that day. She worked half a shift. She 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 got on the bus. She sat on purpose. It had
Yeah.
nothing to do with her not wanting to get off her tired feet. That was a whitewash story to make it sound, you know,
To like
different than what really
glorified or
happened.
something.
She was already part of the civil rights movement
Yeah, she
before that
was.
even happened.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she also said that her and Dr. Martin Luther King, like, they weren't really great friends. You know,
Mhm.
like that part that's told in the story, like they were like hand in hand and all that. It's like that's not how their relationship really was at the time. You
Yeah.
know, so like she said that she was doing that work well before that incident happened. You
Hmm.
know, and I heard this story. It was so interesting to me. It was this guy. He's a teacher, a college professor, and I wish I could remember his name. I'm gonna find it and mention it on the next show. But his son came home and was eager to tell him about what he learned about Rosa Parks at school, and he was disappointed in what his son told him. So his initial response was to call the school and tell the teacher that you are teaching false history. But he said no. He said his son had a better idea, that he wanted to, because after his son told him that, he told his son the truth. His son was like, "Why would my teacher lie? Why would my teacher lie?" So his son, who's like an elementary school kid, not like a high school or nothing like that, said that he wanted to do a presentation on the real story, and he did that presentation on the real story. And his teacher ended up calling his son's dad with him and apologizing because she had no idea of the true story of Rosa Parks.
Hmm.
And I just brought that up because I thought it was interesting that we're talking about this. And you know, like that's just a perfect example of the history that they teach, black history that they teach, that's not true.
Right.
And
Right.
that's supposed to be an uplifting story about Rosa Parks, right? But even
Yeah.
the uplifting story is whitewashed down to where it doesn't show that we're strong people. It makes it
Right.
seem like she was this vulnerable old lady
Right.
who couldn't fend for herself. This was a strong woman at that point in time. She knew exactly what she was
What she was
doing. She
doing.
stood
Yeah.
up, stood her rights, and it had nothing to do with her being vulnerable. And I think it's important that like we point those things out because the
Hmm.
majority of Americans don't even know that truth. And she has that
Right.
out in the biography. So it's on paper, it's written. She's
Yeah.
voiced that. It's just people just still don't know because we don't talk about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is definitely a good point, and that's what so many of our stories that we hear, even from like CJ, Madam CJ Walker. I know some of y'all probably
Hmm.
saw the
That movie.
Netflix, yeah, and the way that her mentor was depicted and things like that. When
Terrible.
both of them were great in their own right. So it's definitely upon us that we need to do the research and find out for ourselves what's true. And teach that to our children.
I think
Yeah.
that's happening more than ever right now. I heard a story about a little boy who was at school and his teacher taught something about Christopher Columbus. And then when he wrote in his journal that day, he was like, "My mama said the only Christopher we celebrate is Christopher
Christopher
Wallace."
Wallace.
Yeah. And he wrote also that he was disappointed at what his teacher was teaching because it wasn't the true story. Christopher Columbus did all these horrible things, and it wasn't like, why are we making him a hero? And so the teacher wrote back to him that she was sorry that he felt that way, but that's what's in the history books. And he just wrote in his notebook back to her, okay. And then moved on. But he definitely voiced his opinion. So I think it's up to us to let our kids know the real stories behind what happened. Because I mean, maybe now we'll start hearing what really happened in history, because it's so easy to do the research. But it's unfortunate that we grew up with all these false
Yeah,
narratives.
falsehoods. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. That's crazy. Basketball. Y'all been watching basketball?
Yeah, I've been watching a little bit. I caught a game yesterday.
I know this is not a sports show. I'm just glad that we got basketball back, to be honest with you. But the reason I brought that up, because there was a situation that happened,
It's a
so
variety show.
this is
Pretty
true.
much.
It is a variety show. Acoustic Chef, that's what we do. Now, why are we talking about Acoustic Chef being a variety show? Right now, if you're listening, please follow, like our subscribe if you're watching the YouTube video. Like us. I mean, we got stuff coming out every Monday, good stuff. So we want y'all to be the first people to get it,
God
get
bless you.
notifications
Salute.
for it. So please like us and subscribe. But the NBA has so there was an argument about whether the NBA should play, and because people thought it'd be a distraction because of movement and they didn't want sports. So A lot of players vow to make sure that they still use their platform and use it in a more powerful way. So the NBA started on Thursday, and they had games yesterday. And one of the staples across all the games so far has been all players kneeling unitedly, with coaches, personnel with Black Lives Matters T-shirts on during the anthem. And there was this one player named Jonathan Isaac for Orlando Magic, who not only did he not kneel, but he didn't even wear the T-shirt that says Black Lives Matter. And I listened to his explanation. He said to him, kneeling and wearing a T-shirt doesn't go hand in hand with saving Black lives, and it's something that he thought that he should not do because it doesn't. They don't go together. And I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little pissed. I respect people's decisions. I do respect people's decisions to do what they do. They had Coach Greg Popovich. He didn't sit that. He didn't kneel. He stood, but he had the Black Lives Matter shirt on, and Becky Hammond, who's assistant coach of San Antonio, they both stood, but they did lock arms with everybody. They did have the shirt on, but for this young man to not do it, that kind of like that made me feel a certain way. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
His explanation didn't make any damn sense. Like, I'm for people doing what they want to do. I respect everybody's amendment rights, but I don't even understand what the hell he's talking about when he says they don't go hand in hand. It's a symbol. It's a
Yeah.
symbol of togetherness, of strength, of unity. You know. Anyway, I just wanted to bring it up and see if y'all heard about that.
No, I didn't, but it was a cop out. You know, it's like, are we going to stand in solidarity or not? You know, and even at this point, I do respect other people's opinions, but whether or not my life matters, I don't. You have no other opinion. Does it matter or not? And are you going to help me in this protest? Because if it was you, and if it was another gender or race or ethnicity, I would be, you know, in solidarity, even if I didn't understand or if it wasn't my walk. So if you're not standing with me or kneeling with me or protesting with me, what are you doing? There's no opinion there for me. I even saw one of the players, and I don't know his name, y'all may know, he did have a jersey with a statement, but it said education matters. And I may be picky here, but I feel like that was an easy way to
okay.
say, you know, like we're
He was
not.
like all lives matter. That's what that
Right.
was.
So or no. He said it was education reform, not education matters.
Okay.
Right now we're talking about police reform. And I understand that the big scheme of things, you know, there's some educational things that need to be changed that are systematic or systemic. But I just feel like some people are playing it safe so that when they go back to their homes or their friends, that they don't have to be that odd man out. And at this point, everybody needs to go all in. And that's where I'm at with it. You're either here or there. We're no straddling the fence. There's no, let's talk about it. Let's see how you feel. This is what it is. It's no other way to explain that my life matters. There's no more words in the Webster dictionary for you to get it. There's no more comparisons and spraying a house if it's on fire. There's no more things, no stories to get you to, you're either here or you're not.
Well, we forgot to put also. We were supposed to put Black Lives Matter also because we left out also or two. We could have put two.
Black Lives
Nah,
Matter.
but I think that player that you're talking about that put education reform. I'm not knocking him because the NBA gave everybody the opportunity to put different things. So everybody didn't put Black Lives Matter. Some people had different things that were authorized by the NBA to be able to put on their jerseys. That's why, like LeBron say, he opted out to put anything because what he wanted to put, they like he said, they didn't even, you know, consult with him or whatever. He wanted to put something more powerful or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think Black Lives Matter, the movement, may sometimes get lost with what people are thinking about Black Lives Matter, the organization
Yeah.
or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and if you were around, you know, the impetus of when the organization started and stuff like that, a lot of people saw some literature that didn't sit well with them and stuff like that or whatever about sexual orientation and all of that type of stuff or whatever. So I don't know. Certain people could possibly be getting those things misconstrued or whatever. You know, me personally, I mean, honestly, I don't care. Like you say, I mean, just the statement itself, I mean, speaks volumes. So I don't really need nothing else but that statement.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, Damon, that the Black Lives Matter organization gets conflicted with confused with the Black Lives Matter movement, and the people who try to downplay the Black Lives Matter movement, they make their statements in reference to the organization,
Hmm.
and a lot of people have never even looked up the organization to see what they are and what they do.
Nope, that's true.
And I had this not an argument. I mean, but it was more like a conversation with a guy on Facebook. He was like, my dad posted something about Black Lives Matter, and then this guy was like, "That's a Marxist organization, and they support blah blah blah." Well, when you look at the actual one of the actual founders said that she follows the teachings of Marxism.
Yeah.
So her saying that, and then being a founder of the organization, they go to that and they try to tear down the Black Lives Matter movement
Movement.
because of the organization's leaders say that they follow the teachings of Marxism. But you can clearly see when you see people in the street saying Black Lives Matter and what they're doing, it's about the people that are black. It's not about the organization. And I think those people know that. Some of those people know that, but they're taking that confusion between the movement and the organization to downplay the movement. They're taking the organization to downplay the movement and using stuff like Marxism. And do you want a Marxist government? I've seen so many posts of people saying, if you support Black Lives Matter, then you support a Marxist government. Get the hell out of here with
I've
that.
heard it being called hate group and
Oh yeah,
everything under the sun other than police reform for Black lives. Like
yeah.
I've heard so many different things, and I've actually done the same thing. Had conversations with people on Facebook, on some of the news stations, and I go in, and so I'm very respectful, but I'm to the point now where I say if you're not going to take the time and do the research, then I don't even know why you're commenting. I don't know why we're having this conversation, because I'm not going to change your mind, and you're certainly not going to change mine. Although what you're saying, I'll actually go and look it up and see if it's valid in any way. But if you're not going to take the time and you're just spewing this ignorance, then I'm done with this conversation. So
Gina,
have a good.
take the time. Facebook philosophers don't do research.
They don't.
They just get a doctorate and teach in their teachings, and they just spew it. So
Man,
Absolutely.
I've seen so many times where I've gotten into arguments with people because all they do is read the title of
Right.
the article. They don't even read the article or even understand what the article is about, because just to get the click, you know what I'm saying? The author may have just written one of the most salacious, parts of the article, and they just comment on the article. I'm like, that's
Did
not
you
even
even
what the
read
article's
it?
talking about.
Did you
Right.
read it?
or if
It's
they
2
post a
years
title.
old.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, these people are they ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Facebook News Coalition.
Hey, I was gonna say that a lot of times, like for the most part, like every single time black people assemble, we get the same thing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's labeled a hate group, it's labeled a terroristic group and stuff like that or whatever. Like I was talking about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and the Black Panther Party or whatever. They were all labeled terroristic groups. They sick the dogs and the pressure washers from the fire department on them and stuff like that or whatever, I mean, not
The
pressure
one,
washers,
the
but
one
water
true,
hoses rather.
the one true. Now they've had some other organizations that were terroristic groups, but the one true organization that's been a terroristic group since this country's inception,
The
the
Klan.
Ku Klux Klan, and they would not lawfully make them a terrorist group. That is the one true. Like they've openly done stuff to show that they're a terrorist group, and they allow them to be an organization supported by the damn government.
Yep.
That's crazy.
I think
Oh.
I
Hate
think
group.
Trump may have just
Yeah, I think it's
labeled them.
recent. I think it's recent,
Yeah.
and it was even in him doing that. I think it was such a like he had to be convinced, So
Right. It was pressure.
and yeah, and I think it's now on the
He
list
labeled,
as
I think,
as a hate group.
yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
And it may not even be the Klan. I'm gonna have to check and see. It may just be white nationalism as a whole. I don't know. I can't
I don't
remember.
know
I'm gonna
about
have to
that
go
one.
check and see.
I don't
Yeah.
think he would go that far.
Hey,
Yeah, that's crazy.
in reference to what you were saying, Capel, about how they didn't want to show Rosa Parks' strength or whatnot. A lot of those people, the only reason why we got changed for certain things was because of America's shame. You know what I'm saying? And not because we were strong and stood for something or whatever. They was just shameful because a lot of those people, they weren't fighting. They was just sitting on buses and marching. And like right now they call, every time, people gather, they try to find distractions, from you with rioters and stuff like that or whatever. But at that point in time, nobody was rioting. People was just walking in solidarity and stuff like that or whatever. And, and they was doing the same thing.
And speaking of, and I'm sorry, go ahead, Damien.
No, I was just about to say, even back then in the 60s, it was white people that was marching and Jewish people that was marching with us as well. And they was doing the same stuff that they doing now.
Yeah. And speaking of, walking in solidarity, we recently lost John Lewis,
Yeah.
who's famous for, walking and, protesting for civil rights and was alongside Martin Luther King and that famous march at Selma, Alabama at the Edmunds Peters Bridge. So we want to make sure that we show, honor for his life and the things that he did as well.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, shout out to CT Vivian, who also
Yes.
passed this past week, who was also part of the civil rights movement. He walked with Dr. Martin Luther King. He was a reverend.
Yes.
He passed away, so we lost two of the pioneers of the civil rights movement this week.
Yeah.
I never even heard of CT.
Same day, I believe.
Yeah, that's part of, you know what, and the fact that a lot of people haven't heard of him, to me, it's all like why our history is not written the way it should be. People who were integral parts of the civil rights movement, not just the big names, but we should know who all those people are. It should be somebody. I'm not saying you should be able to say, oh, CT Vivian did X, Y, and Z. No, but to know his name, to know what he was a part of,
right.
like, in history, we know who the hell Paul Revere was.
We should have a school named after CT Vivian. It should be a school named after John Lewis because there's several, those people who their schools named after, streets named after. We don't know who, half of these people are or whatever, but they got schools and streets named after them and stuff like that. One of the people that was writing about the lady Sarah Keys Evans was saying that she had wrote a book and took it to publishers and stuff like that, and nobody would publish it because they was like, well, we already have the Rosa Parks story, so we don't need another story like this.
Man, that's crazy.
Well, we need to be writing our own history.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why we're leaving it up to
anybody else. Yeah.
I mean, the people that own all the publishing companies that get the big vendors through the school district, they're not owned by us. So you're right. We have to tell our own stories, and we have to make our communities aware of the truth, because I don't see them changing those history books no time soon.
Yep.
Hey, I got a question. If y'all was at work, and I'm talking to the ladies, if y'all was at work and you got into a professional argument with a male coworker, and he turned and called you a bitch, what would probably happen to that person?
Which person? Myself or the other person?
No, the person that called you the B word. You're at work. I'm not saying you're on the street. You're at work. What would probably happen to the person that called you that?
Let me get in my head that I'm not on the street. I'm on the street. I'm not on the street. I'm at work. I'm at work. Okay.
It's not an accusation. It happened.
Everybody heard it.
Everybody heard it.
Some kind of reprimand would happen. I'm sure. Maybe get fired. I don't know.
I don't know if they would get fired. I know that what I would do, but I would like to think that I'd be like, yeah, I'm that B, but I don't know if I'd be that mature with it. But I don't know, because I mean, I've never had that specifically happen to me at work, but I've had some things where I felt like some people should have been fired, and it's always turned into sensitivity training and let's discuss it out, and so I don't know. I mean, I know probably what I would do, but what the system would do for me, nothing.
Yeah, that's why I had to phrase it on like what the system would do, because I know what y'all probably would do on your own. But the reason why I asked that is because Representative Yoho called Representative Ocasio-Cortez a fucking bitch. Excuse my language. I apologize, but that's what he said. I'm
Yep.
speaking for in quotes. And
Hmm.
I feel like in most positions, and the reason why I asked because I just wanted to know what y'all thoughts was. But in most positions, I feel like if you said that and people heard it and it wasn't a dispute, like
Right.
I feel like I would lose my job. I
Yeah.
feel like if
Yeah.
I said that to a coworker, whether it was another administrator or a teacher or a para, like I mean, yeah, that's a possibility that I made. I know that people in certain positions they get treated a certain way, but I think that's the average person that's not having no favoritism shown to them. I think they get fired.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
really do feel that way. So why is it that our politicians can't be held accountable? He gets to apologize, and she didn't accept his apology, but he gets to apologize, and nobody blinks an eye. Like,
Well, because I mean, he just called her F and B, where there's other people that's grabbing him by the pussies. So I don't know.
true.
I don't really know.
Qualified immunity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
pretty
The
much. Yeah.
examples that have been set for these last few years, unfortunately, makes it so that all I have to do is apology. I think that's a culture now, like apology culture.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all I got to do is apologize, and it's okay. Or she needs to accept his apology because he said it, and it doesn't matter if it's genuine or not. He apologized. He did it. He went through the motions. Like, so what? That's all.
Right.
That's all that happens. He does this in front of reporters, in front of everybody heard it, and
Yeah.
that's it. But I do appreciate how she. I mean, it was a clapback, but she came back and she talked about it, and I think that her discussing it and talking about it, it brought other things to light as well.
Right.
So what was the
So,
context? They were like, I mean,
I
at
think
a
they were
meeting.
going. Yeah, they were voting for something, and she was walking out. Maybe he was walking in, or vice versa. They had their words on the steps, and whatever their discussion was about, they were arguing. And then
Yeah.
as she walked away, this is what he said, and other people
So it was like
heard.
a hot mic or
No,
people just
other
heard.
people heard. People heard.
Mm.
But she didn't. You know what? What I like, I don't. She didn't accept the apology. She talked about her beliefs, what her parents raised her to do and believe, and that she's a daughter, someone's daughter, and
mhm.
all of that. So
But
I can respect that.
he said it to her, or it was kind of
He
like in
said it to
private, basically.
He
no,
he
no.
I said it to
He
her.
said it
Oh,
to her.
really?
Yeah.
yeah, he said it to her, but I don't think she heard a lot. She didn't hear that particular part. I don't believe. I believe everyone else heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
from
That
my
could be how it
understanding, I could be
happened.
wrong.
Yeah. That could
Yeah.
be how it happened. When I listened to her, I heard her speak about it when they had that conference or that meeting, and she spoke about it whoever the Congress had in meetings.
Yeah,
But,
she did speak about everything else that he said that kind of like
That
belittled
led up to.
her. Yeah, so
I guess
I
the,
mean, I'm
the the
saying.
feel that I got from it was that she heard him say it. So I didn't read any articles. I just listened to what she said while she was
Mhm.
talking about it. So I assumed that she heard him say it, or maybe she said that it was told. I can't. I don't remember how it was pronounced. I mean how she said it, but I thought she was. I thought I assumed that. But either way, whether he was talking to her or saying it about her, it was said.
Hey, but
Loud
if
enough for people to hear and reporters.
but she didn't hear it though. So if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, like did it actually
Your
make a
key, your
sound?
key, your key words
yeah,
and what you just said is nobody is
Hey,
around to
but
hear it.
she
People were
didn't hear it
there.
though.
yeah. The tree fell, so I'm gonna go back later and I'm gonna see the tree on the ground,
And
cut
they
it up,
heard
get
it.
some wood.
Look, it's one of those things. To me, it's one of those things that if you were in a private conversation and you called somebody that
Yeah.
in the privacy of your own home, and somebody recorded it and it got out, people gonna look at you a certain way. But I'm gonna say, you know what? That was his private conversation. That's how you feel about her. That's how you feel about. And even though that's not right in my opinion, still that's his privacy. He didn't do that way. He didn't do it that way. He was
Well,
in the
this was.
open. He was
Oh
talking to
yeah,
people out
Open.
yeah,
loud. You
right,
know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
So that erases all of that.
But
yeah.
Now
see,
you got to
the
be
way I
held
look at
accountable for that.
okay, so I'm at work
She
and
better than
somebody
me.
somebody called me a name at work. It could be a racial name, whatever. If he's on my same level, I mean, honestly, I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like if we have the same type of job or whatnot, because his job doesn't affect me. If it's like the president of the company or something like that, then his job could affect mine because I may not get the raise or something like that I want. But I really don't care about
So I
because
think it's I
that
think it's
doesn't
deeper than
validate
that.
me.
I think it's deeper than that. Excuse me.
Right.
You got to look at this is a woman. Women have been oppressed in workplaces. They have been they when they, she's a very aggressive woman. She's very I say
Yeah,
aggressive. She's very
Assertive.
strong.
She's
Strong.
Assertive, yes.
assertive.
Strong, yes. And she's perceived as aggressive.
Mhm.
So and that's something and she's I think she's of Puerto Rican descent, but that is something that
yeah.
even our black women get accused with. Ebony was talking about that I think last week or a couple of shows ago where when
Mm-hmm.
she does the same thing that a white woman does, she's
Facts.
seen as aggressive. And so
Angry.
it's just it's deeper than just the workplace aspect. It's
Mhm.
also societal. It's also like how men treat women. White men, men of power, how they look down on women, how they treat them in the workplace. Like there's so many layers to this that you even though on the on the surface, what you're saying it's like work. It's deeper than that, and you have to take that into
But I'm
account.
saying, what if he just doesn't like her? What if it has nothing to do with
It's
anybody else?
it's
You know what I'm
it
They don't
don't
saying?
have to
matter.
like each other. It's a respect factor, and I do care if you're on the same level as me because you may be a manager or in leadership position one day. Because it's not all about me; it's
Yeah,
about
that's true.
who comes after me as well. And then a
Yeah,
lot of times you're golfing with the boss, you know,
yeah.
or you're going to lunch with people that do have my professional, you know, path in their hands. So no, you know, I need to call you out, those above you, you at my level and under me. And you're not going to disrespect me, and you're not going to disrespect another woman or black woman or person of color after me either.
That's what's up. It's one thing that y'all haven't taken into account though.
What's that?
What?
That this guy, he's a representative of Florida.
Yeah. Well,
His
Did y'all
words are expected.
did y'all know that you could Google like a man on whatever day
Yep.
in
I
and get the
did.
time in
craziest
Florida?
stories.
Florida
I
man.
did it.
Blah, 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 blah. I did it.
I think mine was Florida man. Somebody wrestles with alligator in the pool or something like that.
Yep.
It was
I saw
crazy.
that.
Oh,
Mine
you
was
use your birthday?
your birthday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Florida man tries to pay for McDonald's with marijuana. That
It's
was
crazy.
mine.
Man,
Hmm.
speaking of Florida, they had this guy that he had, I guess he was a businessman, or I don't even know if he was, but he used a PPP loan. He got like 3 or 4 of them, and he got maybe about $3 million and went and bought a Lamborghini.
Lambo living.
Yeah, he
Maybe
got
it
the
was a
Lamb.
business expense. You're not sure that that was
What?
an
I
operational
mean,
expense for his
it could have
business.
been to pull up with some. Maybe he a painter and he put paint in the trunk of the Lambo. Oh yeah, it's in the front of it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to look a certain way for your clients. I mean,
That
I don't
trunk,
know.
For
that trunk about this big.
Really?
You can't
Well,
fit. You
it
can't
was
fit
a
no
small
can of
can of
paint.
paint. It's a small can of paint.
Oh, it was a spray can. It was a spray can. Okay.
Yeah,
Again,
right.
maybe it was necessary. We'll see what the courts say about
Yeah,
that.
he got arrested though, so we're gonna see. America don't play about money. Like you can get away with killing somebody, but they are not playing with money.
But
He
where's the
kept the
checks and
dream.
balances? How did he shouldn't even got it? My
Right.
thing. He
Yeah.
shouldn't
How
even
did
been
he
able
get
to
it?
get that
How
much.
did
I
he
mean,
get
I
that?
understand that people. You know, I get it.
I
We all
mean,
have some.
Disney shouldn't have been able to get it.
You're right, but and
Space Shack shouldn't have
they
been able
shouldn't
to get
have.
it.
They
You know
shouldn't
what
have.
I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Oh, speaking of Disney, I don't want to change the subject real
Oh
quick.
yeah.
Yes, Evan, you was finna say something. Go ahead.
no. Go ahead.
Oh, speaking of Disney,
Black is
Beyonce,
king.
Black is King.
Black
I
is
hadn't
Black is
seen it
king.
yet,
king.
but
All right,
my
Oh,
wife saw it. She said she loved it. She
For
said it was
loved
real?
it.
good.
don't spoil it. I'm gonna watch it
Yeah,
with my
I
son
haven't seen it.
tonight.
Yeah, I want to check it out though.
Man, I love B. As long as she ain't acting, that's my girl.
I think she's gotten better at acting. So
I don't want her to play Storm. I don't.
hey, won't be no B
Uh,
slander here now.
Just saying, I love
Did y'all
her.
I,
see? Did y'all see the post that when the rumor came out that she may be playing Storm on Marvel when the X-Men movies come out in the future? Man, they was slamming her for real. They was
I
like,
know.
no, and I'm with that. I like Beyonce,
I
but
love her.
y'all know I'm a Marvel head. I mean,
I love Marvel as well.
I'm a superhero head, and those movies they like gold to me.
Yeah.
Same.
The way that people feel about Beyonce, the Beehive when it comes to her like performance.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
mess
like
with my Marvel
Marvel.
movies.
I love Beyonce as much as I love Marvel movies. Like my oldest son and I, that like when it premieres at midnight, the night it comes out, we go see. It don't
for
matter
real.
what day, if it's a school day, yeah, we go see it. So
That's what's up.
I can't I love Beyonce. I do. I love her music. She works hard. She's a performer, but good God, I don't want her in one of those movies. I just don't. She could do the soundtrack. Let her do the
Yeah.
soundtrack,
Yep,
but
that piano
not.
Well,
part. Yep.
so is it kind of like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker? Is it kind of like that? Like a story told through music or
It's yeah,
visual?
it's art. You'll love it. I
Oh,
mean,
so you seen it? Oh,
I
okay.
watched it yesterday. Yeah, it was on
Okay.
Disney
Okay.
Plus, so I
Mhm.
did watch it, and
Yeah.
the whole household did actually. I
Oh
mean,
man, we're gonna watch
she
it
puts so
today.
much in her productions. Yeah, it's music. It's a story. It's highlighting the African diaspora.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
Man, yeah, I love B. That's my girl, man. I just don't want to see her act. That's all. I mean, everybody can't do everything. She can't do everything. I
I
mean,
remember.
she's superwoman to me. You know what I'm
I
saying?
yeah,
mean,
But
she
I just don't
she
want to
is.
act.
You're right. Everybody
yeah,
can't do everything.
yeah.
I commend her for keeping her foot in the entertainment game when it comes to movies, though. Like even making this movie that she made. Keep doing that kind of stuff. I don't. I wanted to be in that. I just don't want to be in the Marvel movies.
Oh
Okay.
man, when it comes to
Um,
music, I know you want to. Well, I just want to celebrate Beyonce. She's
go ahead.
amazing.
She is.
I like. How did y'all like Homecoming, man? I
That was
thought
the
that was.
best.
Oh, I
Yeah,
loved
that was
it.
awesome.
I loved
I
it.
watched that so many times. It was so good.
Yeah,
I was just glad that she kind of gave her fans like a peek into what was really going on, like her real life. She talked about
hmm
everything. She talked about
Yeah.
her pregnancy and like even like getting back to performing. And oh my God, it was so good. I'm gonna watch it
yeah.
I
I think what
again.
no no
I
go
think
ahead.
what we probably will be talking about once everyone watches Black is King. I've already started seeing memes and things about people. People love to equate her to Illuminati and devil worship and that kind of stuff. So I think we'll have a discussion on some of the imagery and things that are in it and how certain people perceive things. So
So two things. We're gonna come back to that, but I just wanted to say I don't like the fact that they always like. Why do people have to see Blue Ivy and the twins and all this in a certain light and all that? I don't. I hate that about
I
celebrities,
I
about
can
people, about
yeah
fans. That's
yeah.
stupid.
I just can't stand when people attack her children. I don't like when anybody attacks anybody's children and
Hmm.
talk about how they look or their hair and all of that. I believe she has some beautiful children. I
Hmm.
believe that she's very protective of when she shows them and displays them. I
Hmm.
think that I don't know. I guess when you decide to, make that choice to be in this business, a lot comes with it. But I just don't really like when people have things to say about their children.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna say, okay, as far as the Illuminati goes, I'm sick of hearing anything about the Illuminati, but some things are inexplicable. Like I don't understand why everybody does this or whatever. Like, am I Illuminati now because I
I
just
mean, yeah,
did
you
it?
from Third Ward. That's why you just did that. That's what you're from Third Ward, Houston,
With
Texas.
the
The
eye of
reason the
all
reason you
seeing
don't
eye,
understand the reason you don't understand, bro, is because you ain't woke.
Yes.
I guess I'm
You
not
ain't
woke.
woke, bro.
Or
And
that right there.
okay, so that's supposed to be the throwing up the rock or whatever, but she's also had clothes and images of Baphomet and rings with Baphomet, which is the devil incarnate or whatnot. So I don't understand that or whatever. Like why
Well,
and some other people have done that as well. So some things are inexplicable or whatever.
I think a lot of it is like, is this what you think of me? Okay, well, let me do it all the way then. So
Could be.
then let me wear this Baphomet ring or whatever. Let me put these wings, these black wings on and go all the way since that's what you think
yeah,
it is.
especially if you equate my success to that. What I look at in our community a lot is when we reach a certain level of success and we believe that it's unexplainable. It can't be God or it can't be that you worked hard. It has to be because you sold your soul. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh well, so I thought you said God was so powerful and He can bless you beyond measure. But now when you get blessed beyond measure, I got to find a reason. How? Oh, look at what you got on. It must be the Illuminati because you're
Mhm.
not a part of Rothschild. You're not a part. You're not this person. So you had to have done it. Now, do I think that there are some things that are out of my level, or there's some things that some people have done or a part of? Possibly, and not possibly, yeah, but it ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just think that every time someone achieves success, that's our go-to. And then we talk about, oh, we need to own the networks. We need to tell our stories. Okay, so how am I going to do that if I don't achieve certain things? And when I achieve that, you're going to start calling me a devil worshiper.
Right.
Like it's pick what you want. Do you want to excel, or do you want to stay here and wait for your riches in heaven? What do you want? What do you want to do?
But why did Jay-Z did interview, I don't know, it was about 3-4 years ago, after getting, doing the hair and all of that type of stuff, and he was like crossing his legs. And you from Marcy, homie. I'm from the hood too. We don't cross our legs. I don't care how much money you get. I love you, Jay. But we don't cross our legs.
That's how Will
bro.
Smith, he crosses his legs like that too.
They might have arthritis.
No, I think once you reach a certain level of success, it was
Cross them legs, huh?
not just that, not even just that. Like you're around certain people and you pick up their mannerisms, and so
that's true.
If that's who they're around, and that's what happens when they're all in a meeting. They okay, well, let me be like them. Let me emulate them because they got all the money, they got all the success. So if I emulate them, then maybe I'll have it too. Somebody said it. Oh shoot, I can't remember her name. The Shy. She produces The Shy, and I think she's on the show too. I don't remember her name, but she said once you hit a certain tax bracket, everything changes about you. You hang around all these powerful white folks, and so you pick up some of their mannerisms. And I was like, dang, I never even thought about it like that. Once you hit a certain tax bracket, you can't help it. It's just what it is.
Yeah, my mannerisms have changed, so we'll see. But
that at all.
Well, hey,
I believe there's certain aspects to what she said is true, but I believe it's not your tax bracket, it's who you hang around with. They got people that still get a tax bracket and they hang around with a certain group of people, and they don't have that change because they don't change who they associate with. Like if you in a certain tax bracket and you start hanging out with a different group of people, when you get to that tax bracket, you will pick up their mannerisms because what she said on surface is true, but I don't think it has nothing to do with the tax bracket. I just think it has, like, who are you hanging out, who you choose to be with, because I can imagine that if I was a millionaire, if I became famous as a millionaire and I was around famous people, my mannerisms might change because of that atmosphere. But if I became a millionaire because of my business acumen and I'm still hanging around the same people, ain't gonna be no change in my mannerisms.
Maybe, but you might be having meetings with type of people.
It was Lena Waithe. That's who said it.
If I'm in a business meeting, if I'm a millionaire and I'm around like business people all the time, I ain't gonna change for them bastards because I don't want to be like none of them.
Yeah. Well, you have found yourself before you got the money, so you know who you are. Some people get the money come first before they find
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Memphis Bleak is in those same meetings with Jay. So, and I don't see Memphis.
He don't cross his legs.
I don't see Memphis crossing his legs.
So, Jay, if you're listening to our show, which I know you are, we welcome you to come and discuss why did you start crossing your legs.
Dispel all the myths, please.
Nah, Jay the dude though, man. I love Jay, man. Him and Beyonce, man. They're like the ultimate. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. They like Vitruvian.
But y'all bring up an interesting conversation about the Illuminati, and it kind of goes to this conversation about being woke that we want to have or whatever, because that kind of goes into that. Like, what does it mean to be woke? Because these people, even people that believe in Illuminati, they at a level they feel like they're at a level to where they are woke and they know the conspiracies of the world, and y'all need to pay attention because if y'all don't pay attention, this is what's gonna happen. Like, what is?
I just wish some people would go back to sleep.
Straight up.
That's all. Being woke now means, at first, I felt like it meant getting knowledge, becoming conscious, being aware, being open-minded to new things outside of your teachings. But now it just seems like, please hop on the first conspiracy wave. Don't do any research. Your cell phone is going to kill you tomorrow. Everything, And I understand that there are some things, and there's things are not just conspiracy. There's almost like it's what do they say? Art imitates life, and then there's some truth to every lie. But some of this stuff is just
imitates art too.
Yeah. Well, this is. Did I say it wrong? But
no. I'm saying they both do each other. It's not supposed to be that way, but
right. Yeah. But it's just like some of these things are like, oh my gosh, did you even think about it? Does it even make sense at a common sense level? and then from there, let's build on that. And it's just ridiculous. And I see, and I'm like, some of these conspiracies are just to keep you where you are and distracted, and you're not even thinking about anything
Yeah.
else.
Right.
You
I
know,
agree.
to me, it's like the Matrix, right? Like forget. Let's pretend for a second. Let's pretend that all the shit true. All the stuff they say is true.
Yeah.
Illuminati true. The Rothschilds own the world. Secret organizations control everything.
Them
Let's
whole
say it's
tips.
all true.
What can we do?
Do you want to take the red pill or the blue pill? Do you want to know the true reality? Because if all that is true, what the hell are you gonna do about it if you woke?
Right.
What you gonna do? What change you gonna make to the world? What's gonna happen because you woke? Because you know, you go out there and spit all that knowledge, and I'm doing air quotes about what's really happening in the world, and you not making not one iota of a difference with the knowledge you spitting. And
Mhm.
that's if it's all true. The problem I have with it is people, to me, being woke means you're a free thinker. You know, you evaluate problems, you evaluate situations, you evaluate history, and you come to
Mhm.
a conclusion on your own. But I feel like in this woke culture, people are shaming you for not believing what they believe or
Yeah.
doing things the way that they think you should do them. Or if you're a black person and you don't, do things a certain way, then now you a coon and you're not woke. Like that's the part that I really I ain't gonna lie, it pisses me off, to be quite honest,
Mhm.
because it's like as soon as you don't agree with somebody about some type of historical myth that's supposedly debunked, oh, you a coon, you just like the rest of them. And that's another reason why I don't engage in social media, especially on black forums, when you see all that mess going on, because that's the first thing people throw at you. You can't even have a
Yeah.
rational conversation, you know.
Yeah. Well,
I
do you
don't.
know what coon means? Like, I think Terry Crews this week
Oh.
had
Man,
had
what did he
a
say?
had a
What did he say?
I gotta look. He had an acronym for it. I don't want to get it wrong.
Over
Oh,
our
I did see
negativity or
that.
something like that.
Maybe
Conquering our own negativity. I want to say that's what it meant.
Oh my
Something like
god.
that. It was something like that. He
yes,
posted.
you're right. Conquering our own negativity. Yeah. So I guess you
That
Hmm.
makes
know.
him a coon.
I guess he say if that's what it is, I'll be that. I don't know.
Who helped him with that? Who helped him come up with that acronym? He didn't do that by himself.
Why is he still talking?
I
Is really
don't
the like
Yeah.
know.
just chill out for a second.
So are we doing the same thing to Terry Crews that Capel just stated or whatnot? Are we
Well, I
because he
don't.
has a difference of opinion?
Does he have a difference of opinion, or is he just
Stupid.
because he what is he saying? He never said Black lives doesn't matter, but he keeps saying but
He keep tiptoeing
all
around it.
lives, white lives matter. This I just it's not that I don't think he has a difference of opinion from us. We
Yeah,
believe
yeah,
that everyone lives matter. But it's
yeah,
like he's just not adding to the cause that we're trying to get over,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
See,
See,
I
everybody
don't.
has their woke moments. This is Terry Crews' woke moment. He feels like he has his awakening. He's talking about what he believes in. The
yeah,
problem with what I have when I talk about woke is not what you say; it's how you respond to others.
yeah,
That's the problem that I have, because I don't like when Terry Crews start talking. He got a right to talk. I got a right not to listen, and I choose to not listen to this cat and take his words serious, because to
Yeah,
me his track record for me says that you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
pretty much.
But if he was to start calling people out for their beliefs and what they say, now I got a problem with you as a human, as a person, because now that's what I'm talking about. To me, that's the woke culture that pisses me off, is the negative part of you calling people out. If you want to believe that the moon don't really exist and you want to believe that the world is flat, believe that. I don't care, but don't call me out and try to make me seem stupid because I don't agree with you.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's crazy. All this like supposed wokeness. Like my dad has been locked up, since I was like 2 years old. So he's been pushing information to me like since I was able to read. So what people are now, like thinking outside of the box, I've been doing that since like sixth grade or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm just watching everybody else's progression. I don't even talk. I just sit back and watch people talk about this stuff or whatever, like ancient Egypt and all of that type of, like, it's like we progress from that to, like you saying, like all of these ideals about what black is, what black ain't, what all these, even politicians, I guess they're quote unquote woke now too, or whatever, because I see a lot of the white supremacists loving on these black Republicans because they're like denouncing blackness and stuff like that or whatever, or denouncing the black plight or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and dismissing it. So I don't know. It's kind of, it's crazy. This is an interesting time to say the
It,
least.
it really is. And speaking of Black Republicans, this past week, Herman
Herman
Cain
Cain, did
Oh
he
yeah.
die?
passed away from coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
And he was I believe, over Blacks for Trump, or he was the leader of something in regards to the Trump campaign.
See what happened
And
to you? Nah, go ahead.
I know he recently attended one of the major campaigns. I think it
That
was the one in
rally.
Tulsa, the rally.
Yep.
Yeah. But I don't know where he supposedly contracted coronavirus. So I'm respectful to his death and what he meant for
Yeah,
politics.
straight up.
But it did make me question, and this may be a little tacky in a way, so this will not reflect the views of Acoustic Chef. But wouldn't you think that maybe he had,
He had it coming.
access? Oh no, well maybe, but access to what some of his party is saying is the cure, right? So if
Mm.
hydrochloroquine is the cure, if zinc is the
Oh my God.
cure, and you're Herman Cain and you are, in leadership in the Republican Party and close to the president, wouldn't you have this so-called cure?
Rest in peace to John McCain or whatever. I'm not John McCain.
John.
I'm sorry. I
No,
apologize.
Herman Cain.
Herman
Herman Cain.
Cain. I
Yes.
apologize. Herman Cain.
I mean,
But
John
nah,
McCain
John
died
McCain
too,
did
but
die too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rest in
Rest
peace
in
to
peace
that
to
was a
him.
both
while
of them.
ago.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to both of them. What I don't understand is these so-called woke black Republicans who are saying that, just being a Democrat by virtue or by default or whatnot. Black people shouldn't be Democrats just by default, and then they bring up what the Democrats did back in the '60s and all of this type of stuff or whatever. What I don't get is why you call yourself a free thinker, but you're only trading masters. So now you went from this one gang, now
Right, to the
you
next
with
level.
another gang. Like what have the Republicans done so great? They haven't
Yeah.
done anything. These are I think oh boy, young Pharaoh said it best. The Republicans and Democrats are nothing but opposite wings on the same plane. They still
Yeah.
headed in the same direction.
Right.
You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, so I mean, I find that I call them robot sheep. All you
Yeah.
did was trade masters.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of them just run on the ticket that's best for their political interests regarding where they are.
Exactly.
Some Republicans aren't Republicans, and vice versa. So, I mean, I question what the president is politically. I just think that, he did and like he said before, if I ever ran, I would do this for this particular reason. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, but you're right. I just think it's they talk about Bloods and Crips. I think
They're
Republican is
worse.
worse. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
worse. They
As far as go ahead, go
No, I
ahead.
was just about to say they've done their damage on a worldly
Yeah.
level, a global level.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
As
go ahead,
far as
Capri.
Herman Cain goes, uh, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I don't care. I don't. I don't care that it's one of those things where I don't wish bad on people, but if bad happens to you because you seem, and I say seem because I don't know this man personally, because if you seem to be a person who doesn't have the best interests of people at heart, and something
Oh
bad happens to
well.
you, then oh well, you know. I mean, plus I just don't care. I won't
Yeah.
be saying rest in peace, Herman Cain. I won't be saying, oh, he lived a good life. I don't care about your life. You don't seem to care about the lives of the 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 Black American people as a whole by the way you ran your political by what you believe politically and what you said and what you stood for. So as
Right.
a result of that, you know, it is what it
Yep.
Hey,
is.
You
did
can
y'all
miss
see
us.
did y'all see this crazy lunatic doctor? That black
Oh
African lady.
my God.
I
Yeah,
forgot her name.
Yes.
But she
She's
was
from here. She's
Yeah,
from
she's from here.
Houston.
Well, yeah, by way
mm.
of Louisiana and by
yeah,
way
I
of
didn't
yeah,
see the
somewhere
by
else.
way of
video.
Alexandria.
Alexandria. I
Oh, for
thought I was
real?
gonna ask you,
Yeah,
is
She
she
from the
your
whole
people?
time? She from the whole time?
I don't think
I
she's
gotta
from
check the
there.
lineage, bro.
No, I think she's like
She might
originally
be my
Cameroon
cousin.
or something.
Yeah. She from Cameroon, but she was in Alexandria, bro. Erica told me.
Yeah, I read
Wow.
that. I read that. That's
Yeah,
correct.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Nah,
then she came to Houston.
I didn't see the video, but I did see like some of the memes and stuff people was posting about some of the
My
things that she
God.
said. Yeah,
Yeah. Alien DNA and demon sperm.
I
Watch
felt,
out.
yeah, I felt like she allowed herself. I mean, she didn't allow. She was used as a pawn. You know, they saw someone that had radical Christian beliefs. They knew that they were going to play on that. She believed that she's cured all these people. And then when you look at her, I think her medical license history, she's a pediatric doctor. So I don't know where these 350 people that she says she's cured, unless she's done something illegally and started, taking patients that aren't under her license. And then also when you look at the address to where her practice is, I believe it's like a furniture store and a pharmacy, so it's not really clear. But I think, but to me, it's just, and I didn't see the entire video at first. I only saw her clip. So my first instinct thought was, okay, so they allowed a black one, two woman, three foreigner, from where she's from originally, to be at the forefront of this big press conference where she's talking about something major. So I'm thinking, where does that happen? So what's really going on? But I did see some other people speak as well. They said everybody in those white coats weren't doctors, though.
Her name is Stella Emanuel.
Yeah,
you
Dr.
know,
Stella Manning.
anytime you get an audience, get a platform like that, people know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
They know what you're going to say, and I didn't even pay some things. I don't give my time and attention to, and like I said, when I saw like people posting about it, and I saw what it was talking about, that was a wrap for me. I didn't even go looking for the video. I later found out that they took videos down. I know I probably could have went to YouTube or something, but I didn't even really want to hear what she had to say because again, and
If you wanted a good laugh, you
maybe I'm
should have
not
listened.
woke. maybe
No, you
maybe I'm not
sleep.
woke. You hear me? But if it's something out there that like that's true, you got to do some hella convincing for me to believe it. Like you got to meet me like somewhere in person, and you got to show me like some type of miracle to make me be like, oh, okay, I need to listen to what you got to say. That's the only way that's gonna happen. Like, Jesus himself got to come down and say, Capel, it's all true. Because I ain't talking about in the dream. I'm not talking about in the dream. He got to do it like in the Old Testament, burning bush. You know what I'm saying? It got to be something like that. Because if it ain't something like that, then you can go with all that stuff.
It's so ridiculous. She disqualifies like rational Christians. She disqualifies like people who think rationally. When people listen to her, they're like, "What the hell is she talking?" Nope, I don't want nothing to do with that religion because she's a nut, and I don't believe anything that she said. I was so disappointed when I saw that. I was like, "What the?" And then for her to be at the forefront and saying all these things, she was on every social media platform. I was just like, "Oh my God!" Like it just keeps getting worse. Like we are in the seventh circle of hell right now in 2020. It just keeps getting worse.
This month is gonna be the most calm month of 2020 because it's
Why?
Halloween.
Because it's your birthday?
Because exactly, it's gonna be the most calm month. Today is the first day. You ain't gonna hear nothing bad happen today, and you're gonna be
Okay,
like,
we're gonna hold you to
this is
that.
it.
School
Maybe
starts for us on the 24th, so you
Oh,
just
it's gonna be a
keep
whole.
thinking that. You just keep
You could have
that
kept
same
that.
energy. Keep
You
that
could have
same
kept
energy.
that, Regina. You could have
I'm
kept
just
that.
saying.
Didn't you say they proved that some of those people in coats weren't doctors?
You know what? That's what I read. So
Yeah,
I cannot 100% say that is the truth. But they said that some
that's
of those people in those coats were not
crazy.
doctors. That was a publicity
And
stunt.
and Trump been supporting her and stuff like
Well,
that.
he's supporting her because she's been a radical Republican for Trump, and now she's calling for urine from Fauci and everyone that does not believe that the drugs that they're touting are cures, because they're saying for you not to have it, you must be taking this. So I want to take your urine sample. So she's wanting them to prove it. I just think that some of this is insensitive, and I think everybody on this panel here on this show has had COVID hit us directly. Not that we've had it, but somebody in our family or friends, and so far and so on, be impacted by it, whether it was sickness or death. And even though I want all the doctors to look for cures, okay, continue that. But I also think it's insensitive when people are continue to say it's a hoax, or this is simple. All you have to do is take this vitamin, because I'm pretty sure that the people that we've lost did those things. They took these vitamins. They washed their hands. They wore their mask, and they're still dead. Exactly. So regardless of how this plague started, now we can debate about how it started and why it's running rampant. But the fact is, people are dying. And I even lost someone this week to it, and I think you did too, Capel. Yeah. And I know Gina has had some stories that hit home. So I just think that people need to think about being sensitive to those that are really dealing with this before you come out with these public statements.
Straight up. Yeah, if she wanted a urine sample, she should have just hollered at R. Kelly. Hey, what we looking like on time, Capel?
What's on toe? Because it's about that time.
Oh, yeah, what's on toe? Man.
Hey, though, we're not going to just gloss over what you just said about R. Kelly, though.
Hey, have y'all? We ain't got to go into it, but have y'all watched part 2 of the R. Kelly?
I hadn't seen it, but you made me want to go watch it, bro.
Oh, my God. It's... okay.
Yeah.
I got in light of in tribute to your all-white joints. What was those, nice. 11s that you had posted last week? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, bro. The all-white, triple white, quadruple white, nice. White on white.
Those are nice.
9.7s. Man, 9.7s is my favorite Air Max, man. I love.
Let us see the bottom, though. Let us see the bottom.
You want to see the bottom? See what the bottom looking like?
Oh, have you worn those?
I'm starting to think that he buy his shoes just for show.
Just for the show.
He don't even wear them at all.
I have worn these. Like, I don't know if you can tell. It got a little lint on the bottom of it.
Nah, them nice. Them clean.
Yeah. Yeah. But now I started watching part 2 of the R. Kelly series, and it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. It's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't watch part 2. I got enough in part 1.
I know that certain people, I blame Kelly because, I think he has mental issues for one. But at the same time, I'm sorry, I don't care how nobody else feels about it.
Venus versus Mars.
Everybody has to be held responsible. But anyway,
I have to watch it to really have an opinion about it.
I think parents should be held responsible, but I don't think you hold children, 12-year-olds, 13, 14-year-olds. And when I watched part 1, I actually watched it with my daughter. She's 14 now, so whenever that came out, we watched it, and it wasn't because it was R. Kelly. It's because the stories that his close friends were telling that were on his payroll said that he would go to schools and McDonald's and malls seeking out 12, 13, 14-year-olds. So I needed her to know. And I know I'm a different parent. I'm a hands-on parent. But when I was growing up, I had crushes on, like, I don't know, maybe Gary Payton. I don't know, weird crushes. But, celebrity
that's a weird one. That is.
I did. No, but I had crushes on other people. But what I'm saying is, and I grew up in the hood. I grew up, with different types of surroundings. But in the fofo. But I would love to say, oh my gosh, I would have never allowed a grown man. But I had friends that dated regular grown men that were coming up to the schools and picking them up. So I would love to say that if my celebrity crush at that time, whoever it was, came to 6th grade or 7th grade and was like, I pick you, I would love to think that I wouldn't have went, and people said, well, the parents, all my friends that were dating older men, their parents had no idea. So I still think that, and some of the parents did kind of, I guess you would say, sell their children for what they thought that
I
they were
don't
going to
think
get.
that.
No, I don't mean like sell like here,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like, okay, I would never leave my daughter alone with any
Facts.
man,
Michael
especially somebody
Jackson,
that
R.
don't know.
Kelly, no, yeah.
Right, we gonna all be here. I'm gonna take off, or I'm gonna have a aunt or something. But I just say, I think at the end of the day, there's hands, and a lot of people need to take responsibility of it. But I think it's very difficult for children. I see a lot of people say, well, they're being fast. Yeah, teenagers are teenagers.
I think you see, to me the problem is we looking at it like we putting a blanket over it. We making it cookie cutter that all 14-year-olds think the same way.
No, of course
Whatever.
not.
No, I'm
They
saying
don't.
that's what people are doing though. When I was 14, I was ready and I knew if I could have had sex with certain teachers, I ain't gonna say their names. Mrs. Nah, I'm just playing. I ain't gonna say their names, but hey, if I wouldn't want those teachers to go to jail or something like that, just because I knew what I wanted. I still know that at that point in time, I knew what I wanted. So you know
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
they
saying?
have to make the choice to say yes, Damon.
And if
Come
they'd have
on.
made that choice, that'd have been a grand choice.
Right,
And
and
I'm
they should be responsible. They should be held responsible. Yes, certainly. Yes,
No.
they should be held responsible.
Nah,
They
they shouldn't be
should.
held responsible.
Y'all heard what
Everybody
Dave
should.
Chappelle said on
I
his
can't.
last stand up. Y'all heard
Hold
Dave
up, the
Chappelle when he
music
was talking
came
about
on.
Michael Jackson. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Hold up, what happened?
What
'Cause
Dave
like the,
Chappelle said about the kids and Michael Jackson. I'm gonna leave it at that.
yeah, that's crazy or whatever.
That was a
But
grand
nah,
decision. No, I'm not even gonna touch this. Y'all
nah,
can
you
have
ain't gotta touch it.
I would like to talk about this at length, though. Like,
Okay,
another
let's talk
show,
about
to be
it at
honest
length
with
at
you.
another time. So,
Yeah.
this the end of the show, man. We appreciate
Wait,
y'all.
hold up, ladies, y'all
What?
got something for ladies?
Oh
Come on,
yeah,
y'all got
yeah. I
something on
forgot
tap?
about the ladies.
See how they do us? Look,
Look, I
Gina,
said,
That's
I
right.
apologize.
Wait a minute,
We
I'm the
just-
one that remembered.
we just had a whole discussion on how men treat women in the workplace, and this
Damn.
here, y'all just put us like secondhand.
See, Damon, you mess up, and they
Why?
put us in the same category.
Exactly.
Wait, only take one mess up.
Exactly.
You just like them, just like them.
Nah, but what's going on with the ladies today?
Gina, what you been doing this week? How have you been working on getting through COVID? How have you been? You're getting ready to get back to school. What are you doing for your mental and physical? What are you doing to get ready to get back to work?
I have actually been doing a lot of reading. It's therapeutic for me. Whether it's reading the new script for this new movie that I'm about to start filming next month.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. And I also have another audition this afternoon for another film. And it's actually about this whole COVID situation. So all of the parts will be filmed remotely, like on Zoom and like with smartphones and things like that. I don't know how they're going to put it together, but they look really reputable. So there's also that. But just reading and like getting away, I have to shut myself off from everybody and everything for an hour or two a day and just read. And it could be stuff for work or just stuff that, fiction that I just need to like escape for a little while. So
I
very
got
simple.
a better question for the ladies.
What?
So y'all both been in quarantine, been working from home and stuff like that or whatever. Have y'all still been beautifying yourselves, putting on lipstick, makeup, and all of that type of stuff or whatever? Putting on clothes?
A little bit, not to the extent that I would have if I'm going to work. Yes, pretty much every day I'm in sweatpants. What I have been doing, I've been, upping my leisure wear and my athletic wear. So I actually found this Black-owned company called Begin Now Athleisure Wear. So there's clothing where you can go to brunch or go out to eat, put some heels on, but you also can work out in. So I like it more for the working out aspect. So I've been doing those kinds of things. I try to brush my hair. There's no makeup during the day. You'll be happy. I mean, I don't know, you may not find a bra either. I know there may be TMI, but I've been trying to at least work on myself, maybe not with makeup and all of that, but working out. This quarantine has allowed me to make up for probably 5 years that I put myself on the back burner. I've been, reading. I've been getting my mind clear, cleaning, redecorating. I even recently, I became a real estate agent. I took some classes online and things like that. So I'm just doing a lot of things to better myself and making the best of this time that I can.
That's cool.
Good. Yeah.
Regina, I'm trying to get into acting. Sometimes I set up the teddy bears and I put on a Broadway show,
Do you
to
really?
practice. So hook me up. I could be a fill-in to start off,
Cast him. Cast him as a stunt double.
I'll let you know when we need some background actors. They're always looking for good background actors.
Capel wants to be a stunt double on something very dangerous.
That too. It's just acting is therapeutic for me as well because I get to be somebody else for a little while. I get to step outside of my comfort zone and then challenge myself at times. So that's also it. Like takes me away from everything that I might be dealing with, and then I step into this role where pretty much anything goes. I make it my own, and it's so much. I don't need to go to Hollywood, and I don't need to be on the big screen every week. But I do enjoy it because it's fun and it's a challenge, and it's something that I can say that I've done. When I look back over all of the experiences I've had with the films and the plays, just being creative in general, writing and things like that, I can say that it always happened during a time in my life where I needed to step away for a little bit. So
that's what's up.
Ooh, we all need something like that in our lives.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we got for today. Y'all got anything else before we head out?
No.
Follow.
Yep.
Subscribe,
Follow. Subscribe. Share.
Yes,
Share is
share.
the biggest one.
The
We need y'all to
email is
share.
at the bottom of the screen. Send us an email. Let us know if you got some topics you want to talk about.
all right.
Hey,
All right.
next week I think we need to talk about female male topic. I got a good question I want to ask y'all, man. So
Yeah, let's do that. Next week.
Yeah.
We're gonna have our first versus.
I'm
show.
ready.
Versus.
I'm ready.
Venus versus
right.
Mars.
All right.
Yeah.
That's Acoustic Chef. That's all we got for y'all. Y'all have a good day.
All right.
Bye.
Later.
Bye, guys.